I think we're live. Hey
Oh,
guys.
hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi Internet. It's us doing a Google Hangout again for the first time in a little while.
Woo.
For those of you who don't know, we've provided convenient lower thirds for everyone in the Hangout. I am Nick, sort of video game man, and Tara's video game lady, and also joining us today is Maxwell Wink, our
Hello.
producer and editor, and the dude who's responsible for the entire look and feel of Rev3Games that you've seen over the past couple of years. So say hi to Max, and also
Maybe a
thank
large
him.
portion, maybe not all of it.
I'm gonna say you get
Very
100%.
democratic system.
No, you're a tyrant, but you make good video game videos, so we like you. So yeah, I think we just wanted to kind of take. Oh God, I'm hearing my own voice. This is a nightmare.
I knew that was
Oh,
going
it's
to happen.
echoing.
Gotta
All right.
close that window, Nick.
I know. I'm an amateur, I guess. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to take an opportunity to take questions from all y'all at home. Obviously, we're trying out some new content lately with Coffee Talk and stuff like that,
Yep.
and messing with all sorts of stuff. We've got a bunch of weird ideas, but basically the whole reason that we wanted to do this, I think, was to open up this conversation to everyone in the community. This channel, this is the way I think of it at least, is as much you guys' channel as it is ours, and I really, really value your input on like what we're doing and the kind of stuff we do going forward. So yeah, we're opening it up to questions. If you're watching on YouTube, there should be a link at the bottom of the screen that you can click to submit questions, and we'll be keeping our eyes on that. We'll also be looking at the YouTube chat. We read every comment on
Yeah,
the
we've learned a
channel.
lot. We've learned Nick and I need to sit farther apart from each other.
We're not going to do that though. I don't know if
Our
people noticed.
elbows shouldn't touch.
That episode of Coffee Talk that went up started with us talking about our weenuses, and it was because in the pre-production for that episode, we were like talking about how the comments are always talking about how close we're sitting, and we were talking about the idea of just what if we just gradually got closer and closer until the 10th episode is just our faces pressed together like this.
Yeah, and there's actually a practical reason for that. The space we're shooting in is actually really small, and I can't get the camera back even farther.
Yeah,
Anyways.
in small spaces is a tough. That's one of the weird things when I first started here was realizing that like nothing's as big as it looks on TV or the internet.
Yeah.
Like every set that you see on Rev3Games. Like, well, I remember when I first got here when the Destructoid show was happening, and I was like walking around, and I was like, oh my God, it's seriously the Destructoid show set was maybe a little bit bigger than the corner of the room you can see behind me. It's all movie
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, I remember walking into the set with Max and Tara for the first time when I was first hired here, and I was like, this is it? This is the set? It's like teeny,
Yeah,
but
it's pretty small.
movie magic.
Movie magic. But yeah, basically, the reason we're doing this is to kind of get comments from you guys about what stuff we do is your favorite and what you'd like to see more of. You might have noticed yesterday that me and Tara, and actually Zach and Patrick Norton from Techzilla joined us for a live stream. We're talking a lot about doing more live stream stuff because that's kind of our favorite to do. Sort of bringing the community in on us playing games. I don't know. It's fun and it feels interactive, and I think that's something we want to kind of try and get back to is more stuff with the audience, like more stuff with the community.
I can't see the chat, so I'm going to rely on you guys to pick good
Yeah,
questions.
for sure. Well, I'll go ahead and load up the Q&A app here on Google plus Hangouts and start moving through them. But I think it's been really interesting kind of getting feedback from everyone on stuff like Coffee Talk. That's what we're calling it, right? Coffee Talk?
I think so. I think that's the name we're using.
We changed the name.
Rev3Games Coffee Talk.
Yeah, like idiots, we didn't Google it, and it turns out there's another show called Coffee Time, so we learned that lesson and got it everyone's way. But yeah, let's start taking some questions. Oh, here's one. So Joshua Cisco says, any plans to continue a weekly gaming stream similar to what Adam and Anthony did? I love watching you guys play Sports Friends last night. I think Nick and Tara have great chemistry working together.
Thank you.
Thank you, first of all, yeah, thanks. And second of all, I mean, it's something we're totally entertaining. The Sports Friends thing was kind of like a trial to see, like, can we bring this back? And it seems like the answer is yes. Like, I kind of would be perfectly content to just play Sports Friends every day for the rest of time.
Forever.
Yeah.
Literally, like, we were almost late starting this hangout because Zach grabbed the PS4 and moved it out into the lobby of the office, and people are just standing out there walking through playing Johann Sebastian Joust all day today.
Yeah.
So it's certainly something I'm into, and I know that Max, it's something you enjoy as a producer because you don't have to edit the video. So
Yeah.
It's a lot
I
of
think
fun.
it's something that, I mean, just from a production standpoint, doesn't take a lot of effort, but people seem to really enjoy it. So I definitely think that of all the things we plan to do, that is definitely one that is easy for us to do, and I think it's fun to watch. Um, if you guys have suggestions on games that you want to see us play, we're more than welcome to take those and try to get access to games, games that are already out or games that are coming out. If we can get codes for them, I love doing the live streams, and Johann Sebastian Joust is, I think, one of the funnest ones that we've done so far.
totally, totally. Yeah, I completely agree. It's also just like it's 4 p.m. on our coast, so it just is like an awesome kind of way to wrap up the workday of just like let's sit on a couch and play video games with our audience for a little while.
Yeah.
And I kind of have this crazy idea to maybe have someone like in the chat directing us how to play the game, I guess, or get through puzzles or whatever. But I mean, it's just a crazy idea of mine. But I think that'd be very entertaining to be directed by one of our viewers.
Totally, and I think it's something I actually want to get comments because I'm looking at the YouTube comments now and I'm going to look at them after the show. But I'm curious what games would be perfect for that, because you're right, there was totally a thing that used to happen during the like Alan Wake live stream and stuff, when people in the chat would spring in, especially with Outlast also, people would come in and be like, you guys missed the ladder back there, and just that sort of, it's almost like a guided walkthrough, but you're guided by this unreliable internet mob, which people will totally mislead you on purpose, which is the other fun component of that.
Well, it can't be any worse than Twitch plays Adam Sessler, so...
No. What do you mean, worse? That was,
I mean, worse
that's
in
the
the things that people ask you to do.
Yeah, correct. We went ahead and made a ceiling really quickly of what we'll get away with. Here's another one from Blake Johnson on Google+. And as soon as I said it, it disappeared. Internet is fun. Here we go. Blake says, my favorite show is Casual Friday. Any plans to build on that? I like the genuine conversations and random people sometimes. Any plans to build on Casual Friday?
Well, that's kind of what Coffee Talk is.
Totally, totally.
It's just maybe slightly less related to games. Or it has the potential to be. I mean, it can be about whatever you want, like Casual Friday has worked so well as a show because I think people really enjoy feeling like they're in that conversation and part of that group. And that's something that we're definitely going to try to incorporate into more of our videos. Again, because it's easy from a production standpoint. When you do stuff that's off the cuff, you don't have to edit it as much. But it's also just, I think, a more engaging form of content.
Totally. I mean, the reason that we built Coffee Talk was because Casual Friday wasn't enough to hold all these conversations that we have in the office about video games every day. Like, we wanted another outlet to take these like really fun, weird, and sometimes like short and small conversations about games and like bottle those and share those with you guys. Because like I remember when I was a fan of Rev3Games before I started here, Casual Friday was my favorite show, and I think a lot of people kind of feel the same way. We're also going out of our way to try and differentiate Coffee Talk from Casual Friday in other ways, because obviously they're both people talking about games, but we want it to look and feel a little different, 2 people instead of 3 people, maybe more focused subject matter. I'll spoil something for the audience. We're going to do an episode pretty soon with a guy in the office who is a father of, I think, 1 or 2, and he's a father of 2 who plays games secretly. Like, he has a game system. I think it's a PS3 or PS4, and hides it from his wife and kids. I think his wife knows that it's there, but his kids have no idea that there's a game system in the house, and he just...
His wife doesn't know how much he plays, though.
Okay, that's an important thing to know. And
waits till everyone's in bed.
Yeah, wakes up in the middle of the night and like secretly plays games. And so I'm kind of interested to talk to him about like hiding games from your wife and kids as a hobby. Like, I don't think that's something that, by the way, like our generation is going to have to do ever.
No,
I think,
definitely not.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah, and maybe the part of the country also. But totally. The answer is yes. We love building on Casual Friday, and to address what he said about having random people on, like, that's something I really love doing. I think we live. I mean, that's another thing is like we live in San Francisco, California, like the kind of video game capital of the United States. There are so many interesting people here from the development side and from the press side who we can have in and talk to, and I see no reason not to. Like they're like having Megan from Polygon on the other week. Like she provided an insight that we seriously couldn't have provided because JRPGs aren't a part of our life exactly in the way that they are hers. I see you smiling, Tara.
Yes.
But
not a fan.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I think like there are genres that I don't really play as much. I mean, I'll play them, but I don't have the same passion for them. I think everyone's that way, and I like the idea of getting more outside perspective. Let's see here. You guys just stall for me while I scroll through these questions because I got a lot of catching up on. Cussinator says Twitch plays Nick Robinson. No, that's not going to happen. That's like the only thing I think we'll just flat out say no to. Oh, here's a cool one. Andrew Garner says, will Rev3Games ever live stream and play online multiplayer games with its fans? So kind of Max, going off what you were saying, actually doing online multiplayer stuff and inviting the community. That's a really cool idea, I think.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'd be down to do that.
Yeah, it seems
Doesn't mean I'll be good at it.
No. Well, that's something you always hear about, right? Is like it's kind of impossible to be good at games when you're always playing new games. Like we're never going to beat our audience at Halo because how could we? We don't have time to play Halo all the time. But like I don't know. I think also as games blur this line between MMOs and traditional multiplayer, there is going to be a lot of cool opportunities for stuff like that. Like I have to imagine something like Destiny, which is like presumably going to straddle that line pretty closely, would be an awesome community game. Like if there's any sort of clan support or anything like that in there, I would love to do a live stream of us playing with a group of the fans. Like that sounds perfect to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
I would love to play StarCraft with a bunch of people. Yeah, I'm terrible. No, I'm really bad. I don't really play. But
are you bad by like human standards or by competitive StarCraft players?
By human standards, I think I'm not that good.
All right.
Well, what's your actions per minute?
10 actions.
10 actions per minute.
Wow, I feel like even I'm better at StarCraft than you.
Your APM is 10. So once every 6 seconds, you click the mouse once, then just fold your arms politely.
I'm really efficient. I don't need to click a lot.
Minimal.
That's how good I am.
Minimalist StarCraft player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's. Hold on a second. Man, I keep finding good ones and losing them. Okay, here's one. Umberto Alvarez says, what about reviews? We haven't seen them in a while, and I love Tara's reviews. Maybe Nick can do more of them too. You guys are great, and you have all my support, smiley face. Well, yeah, first of all, thank you for your support and for being so sweet. There's a couple, it's a nuanced question to answer, because on the one hand, it's April, so there's like no video games coming out.
Yeah.
We're kind of in that drought that you see happen every single year in video game releases. And in addition to that, we're at the beginning of a new console life cycle, so there's just not a lot to play. But I think another bigger question is how do we feel about reviews going forward? I mean, I certainly think we'll keep doing them. I also think that they might change a little bit. Like we talked about this a little bit, and I think they're like a super important component of this channel. There are things about them though that I think I'm like getting a little disillusioned with, like review scores. We haven't made any decisions about any of this, obviously, but that's something that I'm not in love with. Something that we actually inherited from Adam was Adam went out of his way to make sure that we weren't on Metacritic because it sort of devalues the text of a review and burdens us with responsibility for how games perform and how like bonuses are paid out and stuff for developers and just a whole bunch of creepy, uncomfortable stuff that we don't want to have to dirty our hands with. So I don't know. I think we're definitely going to keep doing them, but we're also open to playing with the way that we do them and what the content looks like.
Yeah, the thing that most people don't realize about reviews is that from a production standpoint, they're pretty much the most intensive thing you can do because you have to play a game from start to finish, which can take anywhere from 2 hours to 40 hours. You have to record footage of every possible thing you think you might talk about in the game. You have to then go through all of that footage piece by piece, and then you have to edit together a review, which is minimum an entire day's work. It's no secret that we have a smaller team now than we did 3 months ago. I don't think that's going to change, at least not in the next few months. So right now we're trying to allocate our resources into putting as much content out as we can while not killing ourselves in the process. Unfortunately, reviews kind of fall on the deeper end of that spectrum. Mm-hmm. But again, like Nick said, it hasn't been, you know, a crazy time for game releases right now, so we haven't really had to confront this problem yet. But I definitely feel like there is something we can do that's maybe not quite on the same scale as a complete review, but still interesting enough. Like, for instance, Nick, you did that video about the creepy dark story in Trials.
Yeah, and
that took literally a 1/20th of the time it would have taken to do a review.
Anthony said something really interesting to me once about the process of reviewing. He told me that it's like, he was trying to explain it, I think, to someone else in the office who wasn't part of the games team, and he was like, reviews work like this. Think of it as a documentary. You're trying to make a documentary, and you have something like 12 to 20 hours of footage for this documentary. So you have to take all that footage, edit it down to just the compelling parts, plus write an entire script for the documentary, because documentaries have writers, like people who have to lay them out in a narrative order. It is an incredibly huge undertaking, and I think, like you said, like that Trials video came about because I was in the process of trying to review Trials Fusion and realizing that with the very tiny time window I had and all the other things that we were working on, I just couldn't turn around, especially with a game that hard, I couldn't turn around a full-fledged review. But I thought to myself, what is the most interesting part of this? What's the part of the review that I would actually like doing? And
exactly, and I feel like that is just as compelling as a review, because especially Trials is the kind of game where if you've played any previous Trials game, you know you're going to like it. But even a 2-hour game is still 15 hours of work minimum to produce a review of it. And the thing is, like, all three of us, we don't just do games. We all have other jobs at Revision 3 that we have to do. So, I mean, our time is divided, and it's tough.
It takes a lot of time. But I think it's also, I mean, we're not going to stop doing reviews and like review content because it is so important. I think it kind of comes down to we're going to have to be really selective with the stuff we think that's awesome in games, and so we are only doing the things that we think are the most interesting and most compelling to us and our audience. I was saying to Nick earlier, I don't think we've never put up a video that we've thought that like is going to be a bad video, anything that we didn't like, and it's done really well. It's the videos that do really well in terms of like our audience and like views and engagement are the videos that like we feel the best about. So I think we'll be doing something like reviews, or maybe we'll do a full-fledged review and down the road. We're not really sure what we're going to be doing, but I think we're definitely going to be more selective. I think that's like the point, because it is a huge undertaking, and I think we want to be careful with like, it should be time well spent, with these games.
Agreed.
I also want to point out that of all of the types of videos that we do, we consistently get the most vitriolic comments and feedback on our reviews.
Oh my god, dude. Tell me. So, like, if you do a Google search for South Park's Stick of Truth review right now, or a YouTube search, my video is the first one that comes up, which is awesome because it means that I am getting just a constant barrage of shitty comments from people with Cartman avatars. And I liked the game. Like, I thought it was a good game. It just wasn't for everyone. But yeah, that's a pretty good point, is that, like, that is... And it comes down to the number, right? Like, if I hadn't put a number on that South Park review, I don't think I would have gotten a quarter of the shit that I got. But, like, people get weirdly defensive when it comes to reviews. And frankly, I'm not interested in fighting with people about whether or not they like the games they like, because they can like the games they like. That's fine. What I'm interested in is talking about games and game culture.
Yeah,
all the stuff we do.
If I had to guess, I would say that only half of the people who watch a review are actually watching it to decide if they should purchase the game, and the other half are using it to justify their own opinions about the game.
Absolutely.
But that's not the reason that we're going to be scaling back on that. Like I said, it has to do with production and time.
And again, like, let us know in the YouTube comments how you feel about all this stuff, because we're still trying to shake out and gauge, like, what is the type of content that you guys like the most? Do you value reviews that much, or are these sort of condensed micro reviews like the Trials thing? We started pulling in YouTube comments just now. Winston Sickle says a live stream of Trials Fusion would be awesome, which is, I guess, a little sadistic, but sure. Yeah, that would be fun. I'm into that, man. Like, I want to start live streaming as often as possible.
It would be a good drink and death.
You guys want to see a sassy comment?
Of course.
Sure.
Here's a sassy comment. Troy Laszlo says, you should go back to your old format of putting out more than 2 videos a week. So let's address that. For the past month, we have, with maybe 2 or 3 exceptions, put out a video every single weekday, with very few missed days in there, and that comes down to just us hustling and grinding to do a piece of content every day. I think bringing back live streams and bringing back Google Hangouts are going to be 2 important pieces of the puzzle in terms of making sure that we do have new content for you every day. But yeah, no, for sure there was obviously a little while there where things slowed down, and we are well on our way ramping it back up. So
yeah, I mean, we have half of the manpower that we had a month ago, so cut us some slack, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, so let's address that. So Joseph Graham asks, this is another nice one actually. He says, Joseph Graham says, I just want to know how things will change now that Adam Sessler is gone. My favorite part is also your interactions with the fans, which is a great question. Like, Adam was so instrumental in, I mean, obviously the channel existed before him, but he's
what boosted it to popularity.
Absolutely. We would not be anywhere near where we are without him, and he was so instrumental in dictating like the tone of it. And yeah, I have this story. Like, I remember the day that I came into work, and there was the desk next to mine had a Post-it note, like literally just a yellow Post-it note on it that said Adam Sessler, and it wasn't even a double take. I did like a triple or a quadruple take of like, that can't be real, because I think, like a lot of our audience, I grew up watching G4 and watching X-Play, and like that was my first exposure to game reviewing, period. Like, getting the chance to work with Adam was very literally a dream come true.
It was surreal. Yeah. I remember the first time he came and visited our office, and I was like, oh my god, Adam Sessler's here. And then like a month later, he was sitting in the desk next to me working. This guy who I had also watched on TV growing up. It was just completely surreal.
And it was like a double whammy, because not only was he working with us and a part of our channel, but he also cared about what we thought and like valued our input. Like, I learned such an insane amount from him. It's ridiculous. Like, what were you gonna say, Max?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I mean, I still see comments. You know, I guess if you're a really big fan of Adam, then you probably follow him on Twitter. But we still get comments asking like, why did Adam leave? And so, you know, I just encourage you to like check out the Tumblr post. And he tweeted out a while back. But yeah, it's funny. I'm really gonna miss the weirdest thing that Adam used to do when he would play a game. He'd review a game. He would whistle. And he would go, and this one time at E3, we got to the show floor really early, and we were playing Titanfall for the first time. So everyone runs up. There's a ton of people, a big line of people. They all run up to like the station or whatever, and they give you an Astra headset. They just like put it on, whatever, and the mic's there, whatever, and everyone's just playing the game, and no one's saying anything because they're just absorbed by this game, Titanfall, which is like something they've been so excited about, and like just to like see for the first time. And Adam does his normal whistling thing, not realizing that 10 other people all have headsets on, are hearing him whistling the entire time in the headset. And after like 10 minutes, I was like, "Hey Adam, what are you whistling there? What song is that?" He's like, nothing. Hey man." It's just like so funny. It was the best thing. It's adorable. The most adorable part of Adam when he plays games. He's like really puts all of himself in it, and it's all the little stuff that I'm gonna miss.
Yeah, no, Anthony has said this before, and I completely echo it. That Adam is the type of person who just being around him makes you smarter. Like he's so insanely intelligent that he just like, even if he doesn't mean to, he sort of inspires everyone around him to be better at their jobs. So I feel like, I mean, some of you guys I'm sure have been watching Rev3Games from the very beginning. I sucked at a lot of stuff back then. Like, I was still getting used to being on camera, even though we'd been doing the Destructoid show, because every time you move to a different show, it's like you sort of have to readjust to the new format. And being like having Adam there and knowing that he had confidence in all of us just made it such an easy transition. And I feel like I've gotten better because of him.
Yeah, I think we all did. Yeah, and it's like this channel's been around for a while, and you know, and like people have come and gone. Like I remember when Anthony first, you know, moved from Rev3Games to like working on D News, and I was like, oh my God, what's it gonna be like without Anthony? And then actually like it was kind of lucky timing because then that's around the time when Adam was coming on, so kind of made it like an easier transition. But you know, it's always hard when you know people are leaving and everything's changing. That, but yeah, I mean, you know, we all wish them the best. It's gonna be awesome, whatever they do.
Totally. And like to Anthony is interesting because, like you said, he's been doing D News almost full time for about a year, except for like the occasional games live stream. But today is the day that he moves to Los Angeles. Like him and his fiance packing all their stuff, and like it's happening today. And that has been really crazy for me because even though he wasn't on Rev3Games that much over the past year, his role as a mentor for me and I think for all of us was like so significant. Like the audience probably doesn't know my history with Anthony, so I'll tell you the short version. When it's so weird. It's the weirdest story ever. When I was like really young and way into G4 and or Tech TV and like watching X Play and Attack of the Show, Anthony actually co-hosted Attack of the Show one week when they were trying to find a new host, and we met. This sounds so creepy, but we met on the Attack of the Show message boards when I was like 17 and he was older, and we just sort of became like internet buddies, I guess. And over time, like he had his own show that like super fans might remember, and if you don't, type it into YouTube because it's still incredible, called Bitejacker. It was like Anthony's sort of independently produced indie game review show that got picked up by Revision 3, and that's how Anthony was like entered the fold. But he asked me to write for his website when I was 19 and write the Bitejacker blog, and like I met so many indie game developers, I met so many people like that. Actually, it was like when I was 18. Then when I was 19, I flew to New York. We covered Blit Festival New York together, a big chiptune music festival.
I remember. I edited that video.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so we both look so different. Like Anthony looks 12, and then I look 9. But that was insane to me because like that was the first taste I ever got of like reporting with a microphone in front of a camera about stuff that was related to video games. And Anthony gave me that opportunity completely out of the blue. I seriously tell people like I owe Anthony almost everything good that's ever happened to me. When I was an intern at Giant Bomb back in like 2011, I think it was, Anthony let me sleep on his couch for 2 months, which is a really long time. Especially
that is a really long time.
In a tiny San Francisco apartment with like 3 rooms. Like him and both of his roommates put up with me sleeping on their couch for 2 months straight. Like that's probably the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me. So I'm gonna miss Anthony like unbelievably. It's a bummer to see him go, but I also know that he is like the most talented person ever and is going to do awesome stuff, and it's going to be really
and
fun.
So will Scott, and so will Adam, I'm sure. But
and Matt, whoever that is.
Oh yeah, I keep seeing every once in a while a comment comes up. It's like, what happened to Matt? And I'm like, who's
Matt?
What?
I know.
Anyways,
Max Scoville is still talking about video games at Destructoid.
He is.
Yeah,
you
you can check him out.
Oh my God, he's like living the dream a little bit because if you go, I mean, so he's like head of video at Destructoid now, and that YouTube channel has just turned into like a propaganda machine for his unique brand of idiot bullshit. I love it. Like him, he did a really good video with my friend Ben, who is also an internet giant bomb. That was like, I can't even explain it, and trying to explain it will make it not funny, but go to the Destructoid YouTube channel and watch the video about Oculus Rift stuff, because they made a dumb fake Oculus Rift out of styrofoam and like posted anime pictures inside the eye. It's like,
he showed that to me. I was like at GDC. He was like walking around with it, I think.
Yeah. Anyways, Tara, I think you said you had to leave at 4:30. You had to get out of here.
do.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for sticking around.
No problem.
Max, you down to take a couple more questions?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, totally. Let's take a few more.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Tara. Bye.
Yeah. So let's see. Boom, 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 boom. C King says, good correction for Tech TV. Yeah, that's always an interesting, like, authenticity card. No one wants to admit that they watched G4 ever. It's like everyone wants to pretend that they weren't into. It's like I'm sure Michael Vick fans feel the same way, where they have to just pretend that they were never down. But no, I got into G4 on the eve of the G4 Tech TV merger when the channel was actually called G4 Tech TV. Here's an interesting question. Mac Conheadha says, with your limited numbers, how are you going to handle E3? That's something we're still very much in the process of figuring out.
Yeah, I mean, like absolutely everything. Like everything with the Rev3Games channel, we're approaching it from a different perspective now. Like we're just like looking at the entire channel and like how can we use this? What cool stuff can we do? And what do people want to see from us? I mean, I personally have a lot of things that I think would be awesome. Just like we could, I think some really small, like a bunch of really fun, silly videos on the floor of E3 would be great.
That sounds dope.
Like, we don't know for sure exactly what our plans are yet, obviously, because it's a little ways out.
Totally. So here's a question from Nexusaur who says, will you be doing something to replace Sessler Something or some show where you speak directly to the audience about certain subjects and answer certain questions, in addition to the more casual stuff like Casual Friday and Coffee Talk, which are great, by the way?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
I talked about that earlier, actually.
Yeah. We were having that same conversation.
I think we should do something that is more, I guess, one-on-one with the audience. I feel like that's kind of what that's asking for. I think no one can ever address the Sess or I mean Sess or Something is what I meant to say.
Yeah, no. Here's something that I think a lot of people don't know about.
He's the best.
I actually didn't know this for like the first 2 months of that show. Sess or Something was literally completely improvised, like 100% off.
He doesn't read anything. He doesn't write anything.
He'd come in the morning and like look at all his news sites and pick a topic and just be like, all right, I think I'm ready. I walk into the room with you and just like go, like off the dome. I don't know how a human being can do that. It was like magic.
It's pretty incredible. But anyways, I think people should be definitely sending us messages of all the ideas they have, what this should become, because we're really excited to do something new and different. So please give us your thoughts. I think I want to go appreciate the sunshine a little bit now.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
It's really nice out.
It's because it's 86 degrees in San Francisco, which never ever happens.
It's pretty nice.
It is pretty nice. So let's go get some iced coffee and walk around and enjoy living in this weird video game hipster paradise that we are so blessed to be a part of.
Exactly.
But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll be sticking around in the comments for the next little while and just talking to you guys. But look forward to a lot more from us. Thank you for sticking around and for giving us your honest feedback, because it's more valuable than you probably even know. So bye guys.
Thanks. Bye.
See you on Casual Friday.